Quillan Salkilld is the next superstar in the UFC. That is a phrase I do not say lightly. This man literally has the complete package. Pause. 4 minutes and 24 seconds was all it took for Quillan Salkilld to finish Mateusz Gamrot last night. And not just finish him, he submitted him. He beat him at his own game. Not only that, but he became the second fighter to ever finish Gamrot in the UFC. Who was the first? Oh, no big deal. Just Charles Oliveira, you know, the guy with the most finishes in UFC history. Yeah, that guy. But let's take it a step further. It took Charles until the second round to submit Gamrot, while Quillan only needed one. Congratulations, Australia. You have your next Charles Oliveira. Now, I didn't become a fan, a believer, whatever you want to call it, of Quillan Salkilld until this past January. I've always heard the name. I was always aware of him. I was seeing Bedtime MMA just absolutely glaze this man to smithereens. I was aware he was getting first round finishes like it was nothing and that his parents own a bakery. If you know, you know. But none of that ever actually made me gravitate towards him. Well, that was until I found out about his personality. I literally became a fan of Quillan Salkilld because of his personality. Not for what he's done in the octagon, but for what he's done out of the octagon. Everything he does in the octagon now is just a bonus. I'm definitely going to get called a glazer for this, but this dude's personality, his humor is on another level. It's like Dana White and Hunter Campbell just took an owner of one of these UFC meme pages, locked him in a gym, and turned him into a UFC fighter. The clips that I see on Instagram and TikTok of Quillan just saying some of the most absurd things, like telling Jaden Cable he's going to use him as bait as an underage male and just leave him. Or when Jaden asks Quillan how he can get girls and Quillan just tells him he has to get him drunk. Like, Quillan is obviously joking here. At least I think so. But I just can't help but laugh because it just feels like it's one of the boys in the UFC. There's no fake PR training for Quillan, bro. Like, he's not a robot. He has personality. He's a human being. He's literally one of us. And then you have the entire MMA community creating memes like the inventor of sex for Quillan Salkilld, and he's literally just running with it, bro. He's not shying away from it. He thinks it's hilarious and he's leaning into it. I mean, it makes sense because he's only 26 years old, which is so extremely young to be in the UFC and dominate like this. And if you want to be a UFC superstar, you have to win over the fans, and that is exactly what Quillan is doing. Like, he literally just gets it. And the fact that Quillan has a funny personality and he's relatable, you know, that's cool and all, but we also can't ignore that he is absolutely brutalizing people in the octagon. He's on a 13 fight win streak, with 6 of those coming in the UFC and 4 of those recent wins coming by finish. He didn't get his first ranked opponent until May when he fought Beneil Dariush in the co-main event to JDM vs Prates. And sure, Beneil is ranked, but if you follow the sport, you know about Beneil's weaknesses and how easy it has been for others to exploit them. And well, that's exactly what Quillan did in that fight, getting a TKO in round 1 and getting his first ranked win in the UFC. Immediately after that, he would call his shot and ask for Mateusz Gamrot. Definitely a step up in competition compared to Beneil Dariush. As I said earlier, Gamrot had only been finished one time in the UFC, and it came last October against Charles Oliveira. And even many were skeptical that Charles could get it done against Gamrot. So how could Quillan, a very inexperienced fighter, get it done without any doubt? Well, there was definitely doubt, at least in my mind. I was telling all my buddies that Quillan was going to win, and surely I might have been a little bit biased, but I definitely did think Quillan had it. I just did not know how he was going to have it. All I knew was that there was no way he was going to submit Gamrot. Like, at all. No chance. Well, I was wrong. This was a completely flawless performance by Quillan. I wasn't even this impressed with Patty's win over BSD because I always knew BSD was just kind of a fraud. Not to take anything away from Patty, you know, that was still a very solid win, you know, good for him. But in Quillan's case, Gamrot is a step up from BSD, like levels above BSD. And because of that, I was worried for Quillan. Yet he absolutely smoked Gamrot on the feet. His scrambling was insanity. His ground game was elite, obviously, since he submitted him. I mean, Gamrot almost had him in a leg lock, and I thought Quillan's leg was just about to snap in half, but he somehow got out of it. And once he got out of it, I knew it was over. Quillan was literally in flow state. So, what's next for Quillan? Last night, he brought up the idea of taking on BSD in November. And since BSD didn't really take any damage in his fight, he would actually be a good for a quick turnaround, I would think, from July to November. But I just think BSD is a step down from Gamrot, if we're going to be honest. Like, surely he is ranked above Gamrot. He's ranked above Quillan. But do we really need that? I just think that fight is kind of pointless. Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira are both fightless and need booking. Ilya Taporia and Paddy Pimblett are more than likely fighting each other, so that rules them off. the table. Unless the UFC wants to semi-protect Quillan and give him maybe one more warm-up before truly getting to the big leagues in the top 5, sure, give him BSD. But I think Quillan could beat Max. I truly like his chances in that fight. We saw what Charles did to Max, and obviously Quillan is not Charles, but using MMA math, he did submit Gamrot faster than Charles, so just maybe? Speaking of Charles, that could also be a fun future opponent for Quillan, but as a fan of both of these guys, I don't know if I really want to see that. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I want to see that. I think it would be a banger, but I would probably lean towards Charles, but yeah, no, this would be sick. They pretty much had the same fighting style, so it would be so insane to watch. And if Quillan could actually beat Charles, bro, imagine if he actually submitted Charles. That would just be ridiculous. Like, okay, I'm in Lulu land right now. Like that's not gonna happen, right? I think it would definitely be a banger, but I probably would take Charles, right? Like I just feel like I kind of have to. And last but not least, people have talked about Usman Nurmagomedov's UFC debut coming against Quillan Salkilld. I mean, if that's the last resort, sure, but meh. I'd much rather give Quillan somebody more established in the UFC, like somebody in the top 5, like Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about Quillan Salkild's performance last night, and let me know if you think he is a future UFC superstar. Are you a fan of him or not? Let me know.